In 1989, the Special Olympics was held in Leicester. 20 years later, it was back again. How fashion and identity changed over this time became the subject of an exhibition, StreetStyle SportStyle.
White scarf, striped suit, silk corsage, bold print tight boots, squiggled strides, youthquake, nova, young idea, same bar, new girl, different year. Q-man, lover, count to 10, put on the shades and start again.
The Special Olympics took place in Leicester in 1989 and they've taken place again this year in this city. So we decided it was a good reason to celebrate, leading up to the 2012 London Olympics, to actually celebrate what was happening in Leicester 20 years ago and today. It's very hard to define fashion periods until quite a long time afterwards, because in the 80s, fashion historians were saying, you know, there was nothing specific to define the 80s, but actually it's really obvious to us what it was. So I think it's just, as time moves on, we'll be able to look back and see what the kind of outstanding things are. But
I had the biggest hair, the big perm. I can't do it without doing my hands.
C15 chippy jeans, turned up, one leg up, one leg down.
A lot of bright colours, crop tops.
I remember my mum having shell suits, which she's not going to want me to say that.
When it first started and we first started involving into the street style, as I know it, it was more of a hip-hop culture. There wasn't a lot of clothing for girls, so here, you know, as you've seen within the fashion show, there was some girls' tracksuits. We didn't have that in '89, so we all wore what the boys wore, and really sort of looked sort of asexual. You know, everybody looked the same, and we sort of made our own little things by doing little tie-ups on them to make it look a little bit more feminine. But we really just looked like one of the boys.
In '89, as a teenager, it was more about just fitting in with my friends, and not really about what it was, or what shop it was from, or how it looked. They're saying 80s is coming back into fashion now, but again it's down to people's choice, so people might be picking up certain bits but then they're adapting it to how they want to look.
I've seen children in my school and people in the streets in town. I know that their dress tells us what country they come from and what kind of people they like.
I have like a big tattoo, I wear lots of bright clothes, and I really like vintage stuff. And then people aren't surprised when I tell them that, like, I don't know, I'm a vegan, and I do lots of volunteering and things like that. And I guess it kind of, people do judge you on what you wear.
I worked within the corporate event industry, and I found that an incredibly difficult place to be myself, because I was expected to conform and be somebody that didn't threaten just by what I was wearing.
If you're walking around with your hood up, you get judged about that, but then I could be wearing a suit another day, so I might look like I'm coming from work, so it's a totally different thing, but it's good at the same time because it gives you that different, you feel like a different person in different clothes.
There are certain members of society who are judged, and I think it's mainly young teenagers. You know, the hoodies and how they want to dress with a lot of slouchy trousers. People view them as little yobs, or they should have an ASBO and be at home, where they're just doing their thing.
On with the pink and white trainers, soft as marshmallows. 250 pounds of canvas, leather and rubber sensualities. But wait for it.
The workshop was really about how you can use fashion and identity for writing, and I think this is really the ideal exhibition to do that from.
I've ended up writing 2 pieces of work that I wouldn't have done if I hadn't have been here.
That purple number I wore last April fits well with the black and the jacket too. Falling over in safety I can now do.
It made me confront things that I possibly wouldn't have written about. I'm not overly interested in fashion, only from the psychological part. If it's a character, then certainly I am. What would you wear? How would you wear it? What sort of person would wear that? I pity any girl who isn't me today. Now, to turn heads in Loughborough.
Fashion in 2009, I'd say now is a lot more about people's personalities. So it is more about what a person wants to project, I think, now, as opposed to being told how to dress.
Well, for me, what I wear is a really important part of expressing my personality, and I really like it when other people do that as well and wear interesting things that I can tell something about them from what they wear.
I think it's more relaxed nowadays, and it's more accepting of people being different.
Now it's a lot more flexible, and I think that's come from that sort of culture of being aware that the clothes don't make the person, although it does allow you to express your identity and your individuality.